The name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. Tonight we have an international recording artist, a singer-songwriter, and a celebrity voice coach. And her name is Samantha Cole. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me
Oh,
again.
it's my pleasure. So we had such a great time the first time.
Yes.
I wanted you back on the show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
great.
This is exciting.
So today we're going to talk about your celebrity voice coaching.
Yes,
correct?
at my company. So I've been voice coaching for about 8 years now.
What's the name of your company?
It's called Celebrity Voice Coach.
Oh, cool.
Basically because I'm a celebrity voice coach. Really genius, right? I came up with that.
That's a great title.
It is, because I figured, I've been in all the magazines, TV, and all that, and they called me a celebrity, so I figured, well, now I'm voice coaching, so I'll put the three together. And I thought that was fun. So I started about 8 years ago, and I'm in the Connecticut area, so I work with students from all over, from Fairfield to New Haven to Hartford, from Long Island, New York, Westchester, Poughkeepsie,
Wow,
and Mystic. I mean, everywhere.
My son went to school in Poughkeepsie. That's
Yeah, so they come from, within at least a 2 hour and a half radius.
So what ages do you teach? I mean, what's the...
So I teach all ages.
Right.
So, because you can't really alienate like a 5-year-old who really wants to sing, even though there's a lot of things that they can't do at 5, or, they're not mature enough with the breathing and things like that with your vocal cords and stuff. They usually recommend that they start at 12. But if you've seen these 8-year-old singers that can sing on some of these shows,
Right.
they're not starting at 12.
Right.
So my whole thing is I'll take them, and it's all about practicing and teaching them at an early age that being diligent about practicing and making a schedule and sticking to it. So if worst case, you can kind of weed out the ones that are not going to be serious. And
So how do people hear about it? Is it word of mouth, or is it...
So it's word of mouth and some marketing and advertising. Like when I first started, I put an ad in the Penny Saver, online and stuff like that. And now I have, a website, and I have, which is celebrityvoicecoach.com. I'm on Facebook, it's Celebrity Voice Coach, and I'm on Instagram as celebrity_voice_coach. So I have all those platforms, but basically, word of mouth and, online, searching. He did some ads in Craigslist at one point, and lots of great, talented people on really singer-songwriter types on Craigslist finding me because they need it.
So how did you, you are a celebrity, and you've had some really great success
Right.
in your singing career. Why did you transition from,
How did I?
or how did you transition? Not why.
So, I had all the success on Universal and with the Shaggy records and all that stuff. You can kind of follow all of my, artist stuff online.
Right.
If you go onto YouTube and Spotify, you can find my music there.
Right.
But I basically, went through a period of non-singing, where I was burnt out from the business and I didn't want anything to do with it. And people would ask, hey, would you teach my daughter how to sing? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And I had my first baby, and I was like, well, let me, just see if it's something that people need around where I am, or if there's like a need for it, or anybody is going to want to do that. So that's kind of how I thought of it, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, and I wasn't sure how I would feel because I was so turned off by the music business at that time that I didn't even want to talk about singing. So I was like, what if I get there and I hate every second of teaching someone how to sing?
Right.
But I actually had my first student, he's 57 now.
Wow.
And he's been with me, or he might be 58, but he's been with me for like 8 years. And I went to the house in the beginning, I went to their house. And I was so nervous, but let me tell you, that was like the best hour of work besides being a musician and singer that I've had, because I loved every minute of it. Right. I came back feeling so good about it and positive about music. And I feel like if I can give back all my years of experience with writing with all these amazing people and all these big producers and working with the best in the best studios in the world and all over the world, how could I take all that experience and actually not let it go to waste? So that's what I did, and turned it into teaching young people or people with a bucket list. Or I've had 78-year-olds, I've had 4-year-olds. So it doesn't matter the age. It just matters, what you're doing it for, and if you need a little guidance and stuff.
It's wonderful, actually, because you're giving back, but also it would be terrible with all your talent and experience
Right.
not to do it.
To waste.
To waste it.
Right.
Right.
So I felt like that would be good to help people that maybe would need guidance on, set lists and how to perform the song, how to write the song better, or if they're an original artist, and just how to be better at what they do.
So do you record them and videotape them when you're doing it?
I do. It's so much fun. I actually do a lot of live stuff with my students, and so I offer performance opportunities, because I feel like if you go to a lesson and then you just go home and you do nothing with it, you never sing out, you never have an opportunity, and it's like, what are you doing it for?
Right.
Because a lot of people, their kids are in lessons every week, but they don't have anywhere to really perform.
Right. It's funny. Same thing with acting.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people who call themselves actors, but they just go to acting class and they don't act.
Right.
Either they're afraid or something's blocking them from auditioning or going out there, but they call themselves actors.
Right,
but
you
have
do
to,
have
you
to
have to act.
You have to
sing.
train. You do have to. It's really important to train and have the. There's a lot of singers out there that think they don't need any help because they're so good, and I'm like, I still have a voice coach, and Celine Dion has a voice coach, and Carrie Underwood has. These are like the top singers, and they have a voice coach. So I think there's a point where, if you're thinking that you're that good, it's probably not the right attitude for the business.
So when the student walks into your class, in the beginning, and then 8 years later, you see the transition.
Wow. There's a confidence level that they get from coming to me that I don't even try to teach. It's just really like they build their confidence, their self-esteem. I've had students that came from having like a lot of performance anxiety, where they would get like hives. And now they're like out there performing their own music, and they're booking themselves at coffee shops, and I'm just like, wow, like to first have you.
How good do you feel when that happens?
It's great. I feel so good to see them grow. And there's a lot of students that I'm really proud of how they've grown and how quickly they've grown.
Did you ever teach before
kind of are
this?
idle.
Did you ever teach before this, or was this?
No.
So, I mean, you found a whole new.
I know. It's so weird, right?
That's so wonderful.
I love helping people. I was in the hospitality business for a long time too, and I loved every minute of that too. I love the making sure people are happy, and So when I've had some students that have been nervous to come to me because they think, oh well, you have to be a certain level to come to me. But really, I teach all levels, all ages, and all styles.
That's wonderful.
Because it's not like you don't have to be like trying to be a famous singer to come to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I focus on performance, style, approach, technique. I'm more of a coach than a voice teacher.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit and play scales for you the whole time, because that's not what I do.
Right.
But I can teach it, and teach you the basics of breathing and how to do that at home so you can get better faster, because if you don't have the foundation, I can't do my job.
That's wonderful.
So there is a little bit of that in there. And I've had to ear train people who they can't hear it.
Wow.
Which is tedious, sing this note, and they're not singing the note.
Right.
But you know what? You can learn how to sing. It just takes a lot of time for those people.
It helps if you have good pitch.
It does help if you have natural pitch, but you can learn it.
I have natural. That was one thing.
If we had a piano, I'd play middle C for you to sing.
Okay.
Right, but no, I don't mind doing that either, helping people. But I also started doing like songwriting circles, so they could write once a month, which we do for 3 hours, and I have 4 to 8 students in it, and we just go around and we break off into groups, and I have musicians, and we write.
Sounds wonderful.
And they can create music. And
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. We're like a little family, but like not really little anymore. But we do acoustics monthly.
Right.
We do 2 live huge shows a year. So one in Manhattan, one at the Bitter End in New York.
Oh, I love the
Bitter End.
In the 60s and 70s, I used to hang out there.
It's still exactly the same up here.
Oh my God.
But we do that every October. We just did it. Yeah. And so it's really, it gives them something. And then I also help set up the Voice TV show auditions. So I can set up private auditions for that.
Oh, that's great.
And I've booked my students at the Apollo. I've booked my students at HBO boxing matches.
That's so cool.
And I've booked them in the studio for other artists that were looking for background singers or band members.
If people want to contact you, they could.
They can. If they need something, I might have the singer for them. It just depends on what they're looking for.
But also, if people want to
go on
learn
The
from you,
Voice?
do you still have? Are you still taking students?
Oh, of course I am.
Right.
Oh, because you always they're coming and going.
Right,
And then you have people that come and go all the time.
it.
So it's like a rotating, revolving door. But
So you shared. So you brought some.
I did. I brought some stuff. We don't have a lot of the live clips because something happened with the.
Yeah, the MOVs, the files, right?
But we
Sorry
do.
about
But
that.
on my Facebook page in general, I do post a lot of like little clips from lessons and stuff,
Right.
so people can kind of see.
And it's
on
Samantha Cole, right?
It's basically Celebrity Voice Coach.
Oh,
So if you go on
Celebrity-
Facebook, you can really get
Oh,
daily. I'm posting stuff.
Okay,
yeah, so they can
Celebrity
keep up
Voice
with us.
Coach, and that's
We're doing the Festival of Trees, which is next week. It's for Ann's Place in Connecticut. It's like a charity we do.
Cool.
So like all that stuff gets posted. I post footage from everything.
Is it a group or a page?
It's a page. It's a page.
Okay, a page on
and I also
Facebook.
have my celebrityvoicecoach.com website, which is just like a landing page of but there's student testimonials, there's pictures, and things that we've done.
Okay, so you want to
check
share
that out.
some stuff with them now?
Yeah, we can throw to a little bit of the CVC pilot that was being made into a TV show pilot. So
Oh, cool.
I brought that, and that's on YouTube too. There's a little bit there that kind of shows a little of the backstory
Okay,
of
so let's
how I started.
Let's take a look.
Voice coach in 2011, 2012. I started with one student, I started to build, and I'm going on my third year, and I've got like 25 to 30 students. It really took off, and what I find is there's so much talent that needs guidance, and they need support, and someone who's done it. And I've actually done it. My first showcase was November of last year, and we had about 125 people show up. We sold out the restaurant's dinner tables 2 weeks in advance, and it's just a really big deal. It's a live show. It's the experience of it all. We get press and celebrities.
And it's my pleasure to be one of the guiding elements in all of this. So thank you all very much.
We work really hard to build it up and make it as real as it can be.
I was Liza Minnelli's teacher. I was Whitney Houston's teacher. I worked with the Grateful Dead. I worked with Peter, Paul, and Mary. But I also worked with 200 Metropolitan Opera singers.
I also prepare them for auditions like The Voice, American Idol, and X Factor. I really, really work them hard because these are serious auditions that are 4 songs deep, and they can be really, really grueling.
Samantha has helped me prepare so much for this audition with my lessons and her changing the songs, making them my own, helping me make them different, like stand out. I think that's really important when you're going to an audition like this, is to not sound like anybody else.
That ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them good girls, straight masterpiece.
I really like interacting with all these different sort of musicians. I auditioned for The Voice last year.
Awesome.
More
Caught
of
me
that on
looking.
YouTube.
It was
yeah.
great. What a great video.
Yeah, it was a good. She filmed for like a year. She got a lot of footage with my students and stuff, so it was fun.
Wow, so you have a lot of successful students.
Yeah, they've done a lot. I mean, like I said, that no one's really, like again, the music industry is totally different now.
Right.
So, but some have gone on to like, Jerome is touring with Sawyer Fredericks, who won The Voice.
Oh, wow.
He was one of my first students in the first probably year and a half of me coaching, and he came from. He's a singer-songwriter, and he would be doing these covers for me. He was singing in 3 different he was playing guitar in 3 different cover bands, and then he played me his original, and I almost fell over. I'm like, you're such a good writer. Why are you not singing these songs? So then I took him to the recording studio in Manhattan.
Right.
He had never been in one.
Wow.
And now he's out there like touring, and he's a whole different person from when I started with him. It's
the
great to see
transition
that.
must be incredible for you, that's all. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
just-
like, it's amazing. And if you talk to Daryl, who was my first student, who's in his 50s, he'll praise about the confidence he got working with me to get out there, because he wouldn't sing out for at least a year. He's like, I'm not singing, I'm not ready. And now he's out there, he's got his own band, he's got 2 bands he's in.
Did you ever think of franchising this thing? Or?
Oh, God, could you imagine? No, I think people want me. And I think that's the difference. Like I think I offer a background that's very unique.
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of people like me
Right.
doing this, and I think that so the experience and the years that I have under my belt are very unique and different than if you go to the local music school.
Right.
You
No,
know,
that's for sure. Yeah.
And you get like the person out of college that's not really got all that experience, and it's not the same.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of parents understand the difference between a coach and a teacher, or just throw them into music school and it doesn't really matter, or actually send them to someone who can help them groom
Well,
into
I took
more.
piano lessons forever, but I didn't get the confidence lessons that you give.
Right.
And confidence, I just remember having stage fright in front of my family and friends, and I just never really played again after that, and it was
Right.
like a recital. To have someone to be a coach,
Well, and it's like running things by someone else. So you're not by yourself in your room going, do I even sound good on this?
Right.
Does that note sound okay? Am I hitting it right? That builds confidence to know that you're doing it the right way, and to have somebody that can say to you, yeah, that really is bad, don't sing that song, or sing the song, it's amazing.
So how long is a session usually when you have with a student?
Oh, wow. So they're usually an hour.
Right.
I have 45, and I have 30-minute sessions. And basically in the hour session it's better because we can start out with breathing and we have more time to work on songs. I usually spend a good 30 to 40 minutes singing. So whether we warm up and we do whatever, depending on the student. Some students are getting ready for EPs. Some students are working on their EPs. Some are performing in bands that just want to work on their set list stuff.
Right.
Some are performing out all the time and just want to keep current on the new songs and how to sing them, and just keep in practice. It just, again, depends.
So it looks like with the amount of the amount of students that you had, that you're being kept busy.
I'm busy, yeah. No, it's great. But again, getting the word out there that I'm around helps because, I'm competing with schools. In a way, which it shouldn't be.
Right.
But the schools are like chains, and they're out there.
Right.
So they have the marketing dollars to be present. And I am sort of a one-man show, but I offer so much more than a lot of people.
Because you've been there, you're an actual person who is a celebrity, someone who has is international. I mean, that's it.
But I'm not a school. But I'm not a school, and I don't offer the lessons like a flute or the violin or the. We do have the capability to give piano lessons and guitar because I do have musicians, but it's not like there's a huge need in my circle of students. But I mean, if they needed it, I could help find that for them. But it's really more focused on singing and songwriting and performing.
And because you do it so well, and you've done it in front of, a lot of teachers. I remember my piano teacher. We were locked in this room, and we're going like this, But, and she was a concert pianist, but I never saw her play.
Right.
And she never had me play. It was never like, it was like, so.
Well, allowing them to sing at monthly events and creating the opportunity to get out and just have the hours in front of people with live musicians. So at the acoustics that we do, I bring either just a guitar player or guitar and piano. Right. If someone's sick, then we just go with the one instrument. But then they can sing and they can mess up and they can have a mic failure, they can have a wrong lyric, and they can laugh it off. And the thing is, they're all supporting each other.
And the more you do that.
And the more you do it, the more you can really get through that. It becomes normal. Yeah, and I think that's important. I mean, when I was a kid, none of my teachers did any of this stuff for me. Right. I love my coach, but I'm saying I don't have to do this.
So how did you do it? I mean, how did you find your voice?
Oh God, well, I actually started lessons at 12. So I had a couple different classical, sort of Broadway teachers in the beginning to teach me how to breathe and all the technical stuff, which is important. And then I found my voice coach, the one that was on the thing, Bill Riley. Right. He's in Manhattan, and when I was signed to Universal, I found him, and I've never had another voice coach since. I've stuck with him because we go back, we have history, and he's amazing.
And it worked.
And he's great.
You guys work together.
And he comes to all of our Manhattan shows and supports the students.
It's nice that you're still
he's
close
really
with him.
Great, yeah. And I said, if you guys I've sent a couple students to him, and just to get evaluations. He's so amazing.
That's
he
great.
can evaluate in 5 minutes.
Well, that says a lot about you that you still have a good relationship with that person.
Right.
So that's good. You seem like a very good people person.
I have a lot of industry connections, and for the people who are really interested in the industry, I talk to the head of Universal Records all the time. I talk to the head of Universal Publishing, who's one of my best friends. Listen, if there's an artist that's ready and has everything, I can just give it to them, but it's hard to find the artist that's kind of ready to go. I haven't found one yet that's been packaged up and ready,
But you help them go along their way, though, right?
I'm helping them. I consult. I produce vocals. I write. Actually, I just got a recording studio for my space, so now I can record, and I've been recording my students. We have two. So actually, what's today? In 2 days, one of my students, we recorded her pop country original she wrote with me in the circle, and she's putting it out on Friday. Her
That's
first
fantastic.
song. She's
Well,
18 years
Well,
old.
good luck to her.
Yeah,
So
Emily.
Do you have anything else to share with the
We have
audience?
some pictures that we can go to that, just in lessons where I teach them how to plank and sing, and just to throw to if you want to kind of see the atmosphere of the studio.
So let's take a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's the group shot from Better End. Wow. There's us on stage.
Wow.
There's some students.
Those are cool shots. It looks like everyone's having a good time.
At different ages,
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's Michael. And that's my logo, and
That's nice.
yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun.
So
I
it
love
seems like you have a full life now, and now you're also, you're coming out with some new music as well. So
Right.
it looks like you're doing it all.
I'm trying.
That's it.
It's hard because I'm a mom and I'm balancing the mom and the coaching, and I feel like all my students are also all my children. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like I'm nurturing, and as a musician, helping other musicians, and they come to me with their stuff,
Right.
and I tend to be like music is therapy. We
Right.
spoke
That's
about.
how I was-
It's really amazing how many students I have that come and talk to me about their issues, and I'm there to listen and then make them feel better through music, and it's
And
been
music
really great.
takes your mind someplace else too. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure that when you're singing music, endorphins are like popping through your
Oh,
brain
yeah.
all the time. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
when they get down and frustrated about the business, it's like, hey, listen, you got this. Like, it's okay.
Right.
Because it can be really frustrating, as an artist.
Oh, God.
So, even acting is.
yeah, no,
is
forget it. I mean,
tough.
sometimes you're questioning,
like, what should I do it?
should I do it?
You got to do it for yourself.
Right.
That's the thing.
That's the motivation. You
The
don't do it for.
motivation
You're
is
right.
nobody
You're
else.
exactly
Yeah.
right. And that's. I mean, I act purely for the joy of acting.
Right.
And if someone else enjoys it, that's fine. If they don't, I don't
Right.
care.
That's what I said. I'm putting this music out, and if you don't like it, don't listen to it. I
Right.
don't really care. I don't want your opinion. I just want to put it out,
And you want to
that's
sing.
important.
Yeah, getting it out there is
Yeah.
really important.
That's a big.
That's-
Imagine.
That's it.
It's like giving birth to a child, because you created this song from nothing,
Right.
and then you put it out. And I said to my student, wait till you actually write your first song,
Right.
and then you put it down and record it, how good that's going to feel.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm still trying to convince some of my students that are like younger, like, you really need to write, because they have stuff, but they're scared. And I'm like, when you do one, you're not going to stop at one. You're going to love it.
Right.
So
what do you think blocks people from that? Is it just not doing it, or?
yeah, I think people judging because when you write, it's
You're
kind
right.
of
It's
personal.
judgment. You're right.
Yeah, and then someone's going to judge your personal feelings, maybe.
Right.
And I feel like we're all artists. Like, even in the songwriting circle, we're not judging. We're helping each other.
Right.
Like, everybody has feelings and emotions, and they always want to get them out. And it's putting them on paper, and the vulnerability of having it on paper.
Right.
I think a lot of the students get like, well, that's my personal feelings.
Well, yeah.
It's like their personal diary.
So you write the music and the
I help
lyrics?
with the lyrics, the melody, and I have musicians there too. And
Okay.
I produce the vocals. So I've produced artists that have come out that I've worked with, vocal production and stuff, and arrangement
That's
background.
cool.
Yeah, it's great.
What's it like when you give birth to a song?
Which birth? I was just like, is he asking about kids or songs?
No, I mean, that's what you said. It's like having,
No, it really is like a baby's born. It's like your baby. It just feels so good to have it completed.
Right.
You're excited when you come up with a concept and an idea. You might get frustrated when you can't finish it, but then when it's finished, it's just like this thing. It's like a release. Like, it's sort of like
And
a
once
load
it's
is
done,
lifted.
it's done.
It's done. Then you can feel like I can move on to the next
Right.
feeling or.
Do you ever get stuck in a song, or is that?
There's people that get stuck on songs. I get stuck too sometimes on like, how do I want this to end, or my lyrics aren't, it's not rhyming the way I want to, or it's not saying what I want to, and they get stuck on like, they'll stop and write a new one.
But then,
know?
But also, I guess there's times, like occasionally I write a poem, or whatever. But it's
Right.
like sometimes it just comes right out. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, and is that how it works with the song too? It's
Sometimes it just, you come up with a concept and you're like, you can't stop writing.
Right.
And then sometimes you're kind of put in a position where you have to write to something,
Right.
and then you got to think about, well, how am I going to say this, because it's not really something that you thought of on the spot. So it's more like you got to get really creative. So co-writing can be like that too, because if you're helping the other person with their song,
Right.
but you're giving them your take on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it is helpful because the more minds you have, the better. Because you can go, how stupid does this line sound right now?
Right.
And they go, yeah, that's really dumb.
Well,
Try it
even
this way.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon, they
Yeah.
work together. So
Yeah, and then
right.
Elton John and his guy. Like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
some of the
Forget
best
it.
writing teams are duos or,
Absolutely.
you know. I write really well with my friend Tony Donaldson, who I wrote Midnight Confession with. We have great chemistry. He's a great guitar player, but he's also real super smart and intellectual, and he's always dissecting thoughts and feelings and go, what if we said it like this?
Right.
Like, you know, and he gets real deep.
So
And
what comes first? You know, the chicken or the egg, the music or the lyrics, or what's the...
it depends. You know, I've done it where the music was there and I've written to the music.
Right.
And I've also done it where I came up with just like lyrics and I had no melody. And then I heard a track and put the melody to it, or
That's interesting.
a melody
Right.
where I sang this song. I wrote the song called Stronger, and I sang the hook in my bathroom. I was getting out of the shower, and I came to me, and I had no music. So
Do you
again,
ever get
depends.
a tune in your head and you forget the tune?
Yeah, but I always now I'm putting it in my phone because I
Oh,
don't
so
want
it
to
does
forget.
happen. That does
yeah,
happen.
if it happens, I tell my students, put it into your phone, even if it's like 2 lines.
Right.
Like even if you're like it's stupid, just if you something you feel or hear something, put it in
Because
your
I'm sure
phone.
before these phones, a lot of songs or potential songs were lost in space.
Unless you have those little recorders.
Yeah, that's
those with
it.
the big cassette tapes. I had one of those.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been great. I just want to make sure people know that I'm here, and it's worth the trip.
Well, it is worth the
know.
trip, right? Because you and I both know. I mean, you've had a certain international success, and I mean, you've experienced it, so you
Right.
know it's worth it.
I've also heard horror stories about some of my students saying that they've been to voice teachers that don't even sing. They don't sing.
Right. Well, there's a lot of
And
charlatans
I'm like,
out there, you know.
how are you going to teach voice but you can't sing yourself? So I guess if they go to music school and they don't get a job right out of school, they'll go teach whatever to make money. But my whole thing is to have somebody who can explain how it feels to sing the note
Right.
or what I'm doing physically. To
Also
get
in
the
front of
note.
20,000 people or
Right,
whatever, like
how to
you've
get
done.
up and-
right.
right.
I mean, to have the guts.
Right, and you have to have patience too.
Yeah.
You have to have patience, and you have to. I think to be a good teacher, you have to have patience and you have to care.
Right.
So,
Which you do for both.
and
you
which
do both. So.
I'm so lucky that I actually really care about what I do.
And it comes out. I mean,
So-
you could see even in the photos that you showed us before.
you.
It was like,
Yeah.
and I know you're a great singer.
I wish I had some students here today that could sing for you.
Maybe next
and
time you come on the
maybe we'll do a
show,
little,
we could
like,
actually bring them in. We could actually
showcase.
Yeah, we could definitely do a showcase on the
Yeah,
show if
and
you'd
let
like
them
to.
come
The
and,
next time
and
you
talk
come.
about, how I don't know. I feel like people need to hear
Testimonials.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
and see the progress. That we did Channel 8 news for Connecticut and Style,
Yes.
and I had 3 students. The one was playing piano, and the other 2 singing. And even the one that was singing on there, the little 11-year-old. I mean, she had come from never singing with an instrument, never doing a karaoke track, and then she's like out booking her own shows, getting $300 in tips. 12 years old.
Well, I got to tell you,
So it's
really, I
amazing.
think anyone who's an aspiring singer
Right.
should give you a call.
They should call me.
Right.
Yeah.
And how would they reach you?
So it's you could do Celebrity Voice Coach. So you can email me on my website, which is
Right.
info@celebrityvoicecoach.com is the email.
Right.
And then again, the website, there's email, Facebook. You can inbox me on Facebook.
Okay.
And then my phone number, I think it's on the website.
Okay, cool.
So,
there's only
yeah.
one thing left to say.
Uh-oh.
That's a wrap. Good night, folks.